we're doing this. It's the premiere Rough Drafts stream, excluding all the live episodes that Walter and I did back in the day for League of Legends analysis, as well as the Pyre streams and those couple times I did Super Auto Pets, I think. But other than all those times, this is a premiere stream. Those were pre-debuts, as they'd say in K-pop.
Pre-debut. Yeah.
So we're all pre-debuts. Which, while we're waiting for people to funnel in, is that a word that you have heard before, Walter and Eduardo?
I'm gonna say no, but hey, I've heard like weirder words, so who am I to judge?
I have heard this word. I don't agree with it. I think it is a fraudulent word. There is no such thing as a pre-debut. There is just a debut.
It's true.
I think we're gonna have to penalize you, Chase, with 20 points because of that.
Yeah, that's a -20.
You know.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
harsh.
You're the one starting the quiz with negative points.
That's on me. That's on me. And I have to live with that. Oh my goodness. Let me get the screen share for y'all so you can see my lovely quiz. Hello. Look at this. Our pre-debut show. Let's see. We've got at least one other person in the chat. Welcome to 01 Ella. Very nice to have you here. We're going to give this just 2 more minutes, and then we're going to do that thing where we do the YouTube intro, which is different from the stream intro in that we say, what's up,
How is it
YouTube?
different?
It's like a pre-debut.
No, this is the pre-debut. YouTube's...
Say pre-debut one more time. I dare you. I fucking dare you.
No, look, the way this is going to work is... Obviously, the stream's going to go perfectly. There's never going to be a problem. No one is going to accidentally show the wrong screen at any given time because he's never done this before at this level. Certainly not the first time that a VTuber model is being used by this person either. But if, for the sake of the argument, some scuff were to be had over the course of this stream, snip, 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 YouTube doesn't need to see that shit. That is a Twitch... exclusive as far as those shenanigans go. So that's
So we should clip that, and we should tell the audience to clip that.
Yes, you can tell the audience, but tell Twitch, don't share it with YouTube. Those fuckers, they didn't show up live. They don't get that. They get the edited, cleaned up version, and they'll like it.
They don't get that sweet pre-debut goodness.
Yes. But it will be delightful. You know what else is delightful? Look at that. Hit a button and now my robe's red. Because the Red Shirt King needed a red robe. And that's the one animation that I was able to get.
But it's your shirt, Red. That's the question.
The shirt is not as red, to be honest with you. But counterpoint, I think it's a cool shirt. I've got like the barred, like somewhat low cut V-neck thing going on, which is a look that I don't know if I have the confidence to pull off in real life, but I do think my model here has nailed it. But here we're 5 minutes in. We've got a couple new people. Welcome.
Priorities in the past. Red Shirt King, red shirt. It's not that hard, bro.
I don't know what to tell you. I guess I could say welcome Drapsnat and Double Oriana for joining the chat here. And I think with that, let's get into it. First of all, hello and welcome to What's in a Name, a Rough Drafts pre-debut show. I am your host, Chase Wassenaar, and I am a VTuber now. I did not expect this at this point in my life when I started the year, but luckily I am friends with the lovely Shay Drice. That's at Shaybomb on Twitter. The link to Shaybomb's Twitter is in the description of this this channel. Made this as a birthday gift. It was a surprise present because I mentioned wanting to do more streaming and not liking to be on camera. which this is pretty perfect for that, honestly. So I wanted to start by just giving a massive shout out to Shay, without whom none of this would have been possible. So very thankful for him. Also very thankful that I have dragged 3 unsuspecting victims, I mean good friends of the podcast, to do a quiz with me that I have put together that is going to test the K-pop knowledge of at least a group of people, that majority of which do not listen to K-pop actively whatsoever. So I'm just going to go down the list in terms of descending experience, which means we will start with the lovely Kristen Pignolo. Kristen, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I mean, I'm doing great. You want to tell the nice people at home what your relationship to K-pop is at this time?
Yes. So I am an avid K-pop listener. Chase got me into it like 2018-ish, but it has definitely ramped up in the past few years. I mean, we did a K-pop shenanigans podcast together where we talked with Shay and Zach about K-pop every month. So I would say I'm fairly well versed in K-pop and pretty an active listener. That does not mean that I will know the answers to these questions.
Yes, you are a listener to the music, but not necessarily an imbiber of all the behind-the-scenes footage and press releases around new groups and whatnot.
Only what you show me and for my absolute favorite people, which is very small.
That is very fair. We were joined next by the lovely Eduardo. Eduardo, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. I was doing better like 10 minutes ago when I wasn't on the thing, but aside from that, I've been better.
Oh, God, could you? Don't do this to me, man. We are. It's nothing but joy in this house, and I will push back on anyone who says otherwise. But in all seriousness, man, what's your relationship with K-pop today? Or to this point in your life, I should say.
Actually, I usually don't listen too much pop in general, let alone K-pop. But I have been invited by you guys to hear a bit, so I've heard like one song per group, and I can name a whole Blackpink member, which apparently is enough to qualify me for being here.
Absolutely. Which member can you name?
Oh, Lisa.
Good man. Good. That was the correct answer. Well done. Oh, goodness. Well, that leaves my lovely co-host of the Final Cut and Steam Cleaners podcast, Walter C80's Fedchuck. Walter, how are you doing, man?
You know what? I'm a little annoyed that Eduardo is taking away my role as Chase's bully. I thought that was written into my contract when I agreed to appear on this. But that's fine. It's okay. You know what? I can spend a night not bullying Chase.
Hey, the role of Chase Buller does not have to be limited. It can be shared, okay?
It's true. There's room for both of you, especially given what I have in store today. I will have earned at least a little bit of the bullying with a couple of these questions. But real quick, Walter, what's your relationship to K-pop as of this moment in time?
What the fuck is K-pop?
Yep, that about sums it up. So, as you can see, folks at home, we have 3 people of very vastly different relationships with K-pop. This is not a quiz of diehard fans trying to remember the things that they learned way back when their favorite group released. This is more of a game of inferences and trying to figure out what the hell any of these people meant. So, welcome to What's in a Name, a Rough Drafts pre-debut show. Here are the rules. I'm going to present the name and image of a K-pop group. And each of my lovely players here will have about 60 seconds to guess the group's name and write down their answer. They'll each get to reveal their answer by screen sharing over Discord, and I'll read their answers out loud and ask them to provide a brief reason why they picked that answer. I'm going to then reveal the real answer and award points based on how close they got. That is how close they got is entirely up to me. Though those of you in the chat here, if you want to play along, by all means, feel free to type your answers in the chat if you think you've got it down. But also, if you want to advocate for someone that I'm being too harsh to, I can be pushed around. I'm here to have a good time. I'm not good in the authoritarian seat. So feel free to fight for the player who you think deserves that extra attention. I will. There will be 15 questions and a bonus question at the end. Questions are going to get harder as the quiz goes on, but partial credit is always possible. And I do believe it is worth noting that because Kristen does have an advantage by being someone who has watched a lot of K-pop, the easy questions, no partial credit for Kristen. It is an all or nothing. Either you remember the conversations we very distinctly had at the time these groups were announced, or you didn't. And that's okay. And we're all here. This is all in good fun. Obviously, there's no one here that's going to flame for not getting the right answer.
Chase, you say that, but I have a very weird competitive streak. So,
well, then I guess it's time to get good. I don't know what else to say. Well, I do know what else to say, which is welcome to the easy questions. These are names that they either are the first thing that would come to your mind when you hear the name, or there's kind of an obvious trick that if you put it together, their name becomes quite clear. So we'll see. Let's get this started with our first group.
Sorry. Before we get started, I have exactly one question.
Okay, what is your question?
Does this show come with life insurance for when I inevitably get this wrong?
I cannot provide life insurance at this time. At this time, I'm not sure what my insurance looks like, so I can't make promises for others I can't make for myself. But I will say we've put that disclaimer. I'll add an extra bit of text when this gets to YouTube. Most of us here are not good at this. I made the quiz, and I would get at least 2/3 of these wrong. So the expectations are low. We're all here to have a good time. And we start with, what does XG mean, y'all? You have until the end of the chorus of this song, Girl Gang, which I'll have to remove from the YouTube version. But those of you who are watching the stream, you get to hear some music from the group. Does that help? Does that hurt? Who can say? But the clock is on. I can see we're already getting some people writing down their answers. You know, again, these are the easy ones, right? The curveballs are coming. This one is, as far as K-pop goes, about as straightforward as you get. Which does not necessarily mean straightforward.
Oh my god, I'm so funny.
I've added an emoji.
Alicidra or VMYK, maybe. Thank you for joining the chat. Maybe you have an answer that Walter can crimp from if you type it into Twitch chat. That might be his only hope from what we're seeing so far. Okay. That does indeed take us to the end of their chorus, which means it is time to start looking at the answers from our lovely contestants here. So let's start with, let's see, Walter here, Extra Grande. What leads you to go with Extra Grande for this one?
Really big.
Mm-hmm. They're just... You're looking at the picture of these girls that are still on your screen, and you're just like, man, how big are these girls? Extra big.
Wait,
I mean, they're a really big group, right? There's like, there's like 7 people, and they're gonna be like the best K-pop group ever. So they're gonna be extra big.
Okay. I like that line of thinking, Walter. Eduardo, it looks like you've got 2 options here. Extreme
Yeah,
Girls or Xanathar's Guide. I'm going to need you to pick one. And tell me which one you're picking.
What is the first one? Extreme Girls.
Okay, Extreme
Oops,
Girls.
sorry.
Why Extreme Girls?
So first, I just realized we have a picture. But that aside, I figured out that they were extreme and they were girls, so they were like, yeah, we're gonna do something radical. They were probably founded like around like 2010s when everything was extreme. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of thought.
That is very fair. Now, Kristen, I am noticing that you haven't shared an answer yet.
Oh, sorry. I am so sorry. I could have sworn I was. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Ha ha ha.
Extreme Girls. Interesting. You also went with Extreme Girls. Same reasoning as Eduardo?
I think slightly different. I know like XG usually stands for something. It is usually an abbreviation, so I thought it was extreme. We're going to be the most extreme girl group.
I see. Well, these are some good answers. However,
I feel plagiarized right now.
Here's the thing. You talk about plagiarism here, but it is actually going to go in your favor because XG stands for Extraordinary Girls. Now, Walter, I think you get 3/4 of a point because your logic here is exactly what they said. We want to embody the meaning of the name to the fullest. They want to be extraordinary. They want to be big. So I'm going to give you a whole 3/4 of a point, Walter, because you didn't quite get it, but the spirit of it, I think you definitely did. Now, Eduardo, they didn't say...
I had extra in it.
What, sorry?
I had extra, so...
You did. You did have extra. You got close. Now, Eduardo, I'm going to give you half credit as well because I think the line of thinking was correct, and you got girls right, so you got that half there. They are not particularly extreme, as you can probably tell from our image we have here. These are not the aesthetic of the most extreme individuals you will ever watch. That said, Kristen, I unfortunately can give you no points because this is an easy one, and we talked about Extraordinary Girls when they came out. So, even though you had the same answer.
And I know XG. I love XG. They're not an extreme group. It's just the thing that came to my mind.
It was the thing that was there. I understand that. But you know what? You have a chance to come back here because this one, it's still in the easy section, but I am asking about Le Seraphim. What does the name Le Seraphim mean? Le Seraphim, of course, just announced their new deal with Activision Blizzard. They're going to be performing at BlizzCon, doing a song for Overwatch 2, which...
What did they do to deserve that punishment, bro?
I don't know. It really does feel below Le Seraphim to do it, but you know, I guess get them Activision Blizzard checks while you can, right? Before Microsoft does whatever they're going to do. Now, keep in mind again, this is in the easy section, so there might be a trick here. There might be a rhetorical way of in which things are being arranged that could lead to the true answer here. But there is also a symbolic answer, so you do have a chance to easily get some points in a couple different directions here. But we are coming up to the end of our chorus, so I hope that you are feeling good about your answers. It is time to go now to the Discord answers. Kristen, you say it is an anagram for all of their names. Also, they are angelic like seraphim. How is it an anagram of all of their names?
You were giving a hint when you said it's all mixed around, and so I thought, yes, it's not an anagram. When I say it's an anagram of all of their names, I was panic writing that. I need to explain more. It's an anagram of the first letter of their names, of all of their names.
First letter of all of their names. So is this a bad time to tell you that there are 5 members of Le Seraphim currently active?
Yeah, I did think about that, and I couldn't remember how many people were in Le Seraphim.
I do like, you also do have the angelic thing there, so I will keep that in mind.
I can't get a half point.
Walter, you have the angels. Why did you guess the angels?
That seraphim means angels.
They are a type of angel, that is true.
Yep.
And then Eduardo here, they are all basically angels and celestial.
Okay, so I'm gonna one-up Walter here because seraphims are not just angels. They're a very specific kind of angels which has 6 wings. So my line of thought is that they were originally like 6 members, and each of them was like a wing of this angel, and they were all like very like celestial in nature. But like the double S has me like a bit confused. So maybe it's like an anagram for like something else. But like I'm very like confident on like the thing, which is why I'm shocked that you tell me that there are only 5 members.
Well, so here's the thing. So we're gonna get back here to the quiz. The answer is I'm fearless. Because, Kristen, the anagram, as you may remember from their debut song, Fearless, if you rearrange the letters of Le Seraphim, that's what you get.
How do you go from fearless to seraphim?
Well, it's if you rearrange. That's why the law has to be there to get the LE for fearless. But here's the thing: it is also because seraphim are 6-winged heavenly beings, and seraphim started with 6 members, and then one of the members got kicked out within the first month that they debuted, and they had to cut a really awkward documentary in which they just pretended she wasn't there. It was fantastic.
I accidentally guessed the whole narrative then.
Yeah, so, Eduardo, congratulations. You're getting a full point for this one, because it absolutely did also include the idea that they were specifically 6-winged angels, and there were 6 members. You called that exactly. I'm giving you a full point. Walter,
I'm still surprised I just got that.
Yeah. I'm going to give you half a point for the angels, because that's absolutely a part of their name and how they got there. And Kristen, I do feel like perhaps in an attempt to lead the witness, I led you astray in an opportunity in which maybe you would have gotten at least some credit for the angel thing. So I'm going to give you a half point. I'm going to give you a half point on this one as well.
I'm actually going to give you a half point in the easy section.
I am.
2 questions in, already breaking his own rules.
You know what? That's why I'm the guy running the game. Go ahead and spam your rigged in chat. I'll see if I care.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Because I was worried I wouldn't get any points.
Yes. Well, let's see if you can turn that around for this next group. Else Up. What is the meaning behind the name Else Up?
How is this an easy one, Chase? I don't even remember this group.
This is they just debuted very recently, and I think if you look at the name, the spelling specifically, perhaps you might be able to determine how they got to Else Up. I think this is one I would go a little bit more literal with my guess than I would metaphorical. Let's see. Those of you who are playing at home, I hope that you're doing well. I hope you are finding some music that you want to go look into after this. Maybe you watched the show that this girl group came from. And you know the answer. But unfortunately for our players, that is the end of the chorus, which means it is time now to check and see what they said. So, Eduardo, 3-7, they were founded on the 3rd of July with the starter letters of their names. Can you give me...
I think...
You've got 3 question marks and 3 concepts, so I kind of want to see where you're going with this one.
Okay, so I noticed that the... between like the L and the C, there's like a weird 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the E kind of looks like a 3, so maybe like one of the gimmicks of their band is that they were founded like the 3rd of July.
Mm-hmm.
And also like the name LSAP comes from like the initials of their names or something. Also, I think that there's like 7 members or something, and that's why their 7 is there, but I don't know.
Okay. That is an interesting last bit that you added there. You might be glad you threw that last bit in. Let's see. Kristen, you've got your point tally on the screen. I knew it. Okay, so tell me about Girls 7 Up.
So, I do think that there are 7 members. That's why I put it in parentheses. And I think, when I think about L's up, L is the French word for she. So I think girls up. Mm-hmm. You got 7 girls up. That's
Interesting.
it.
A whole 7 girls up. Okay, got it. Walter, let's see. There are 7 members, hence the 7 in the name. So you don't think any of the other letters matter? It's just there's 7 of them, so we're throwing in a 7.
Case, I can count. There are 7 women in that photo.
It's true. You have accurately counted the number of women in the photo.
But were there always 7, or did they kick up 1 in the first month of their functioning?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, here's the thing. They've only been out for like a month, and they do still have all 7. So they've got that going for them, which is nice.
I feel like they should just never put the number of people in the group in the name, because you're always going to get something awkward like this.
You just never know. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. But in this case, the answer is puzzle. If you reverse the letters of else up, you will notice that it actually just spells out puzzle, which is the name of the show that they competed on, Queendom Puzzle. I will send it in the chat here. That y'all can see. Those of you at home, you don't need to see what we're typing out. But if you see it this way and you just flip the letters, I think you'll notice the word puzzle becomes very prominent. But you know what? That was a puzzle of a question, and I am not a mean game leader. So I'm gonna give out half a point to Eduardo because you mentioned the 7 in their name. I'll give you a quarter of a point, Walter, because you didn't try to guess the other parts of it, so I feel like counting to 7 can only get you a quarter of a point. But Kristen, we talked about Queendom Puzzle. You knew that one.
I'm so sorry. I heard that name, and it was like that was the first time I'd ever heard it.
You know,
no recognition in my brain.
It happens. But you know what? We're going to take a look at the scoreboard now, and you're going to see, Kristen, you have a half a point after the easy section. Eduardo, you are currently in the lead with 2 points, and Walter, 1.5 points.
Put your hands, everyone!
So, there are opportunities. It is still anyone's game. We are only through the easy questions so far. Felix, incredible. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. Well, now it's time for the medium questions. There's a little bit more of a trick to these. You got to think a little bit deeper into the potential symbolism that some of these groups can provide. So let's start here. What does VIX mean? Going to get some Chained Up going because Shay, who again made this lovely VTuber model you're seeing here, would kill me if I picked any song other than Chained Up for VIX. That would be a crime that I could not allow.
See, this is where your show should come with life insurance.
What, are these boys intimidating you?
No, just shade protection system.
Shade
Business,
protection. Look, as long as you don't insult Shay's favorite member specifically, I think you're good. Now, the bad news is I don't know which one that is.
Oh, okay. So like every time like I'm insulting one of these members, it's like a Russian roulette.
You are playing a little bit of Russian roulette with that, yeah. But just don't screw it up, it'll be fine. There you go. That'll take us to the end here, which means it is time to check out y'all's answers. Walter, you said 2015, the year they debuted. Very interesting. I'm assuming you're doing that from Roman numerals?
That's kind of like backwards though.
Yeah.
How do you go like 2015 from there?
The x-axis is 20, and then the IV is 15 because it's 1 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it's not like we have Roman letters for 1,000, you know.
Players Hub, I know that guy. You sure do. Welcome to the chat. Here, Eduardo. Let's see. VI comes from them being 6, and XX means they're 20 years old. So you have the maths
I think
equation.
they were like founded when they were like 20 years old. At first I was like, maybe they were like 20th century, but then I'm like, they don't look that old. So
they do not look that old. I mean, in this photo, they were probably not that old. As of right now, they probably all are old enough because they're of I don't want to say older generation because that has a connotation in pop that I don't mean to apply.
How old is old? Are we talking about 21 years old being old? What's like the context here?
So you're asking me to look up. Okay, so the group debuted in 2012. Their leader is older than me, so you know.
Okay, maybe like 20th century then. But yeah, I have already submitted the answer. I will stick with my original answer. I will not cheat on this.
Okay. Kristen, they are male vixens. What do you mean by vixens?
Vix. So, like, you know, vixen is a term for kind of like a flirtatious, seductive woman.
Uh-huh. I have heard that before.
She is a vixen, so I think that they are male vixens.
Vix, I see. Okay.
Not gonna lie, that was the other thought I had, but I thought that was too obvious.
Yeah, I can also like turn that thought down. So.
Well, look, sometimes you don't want to go too crazy turning down ideas that might play out for you. Also, Sylphie, I did not recognize the handle immediately. Of course, thank you so much for joining, man. We need to catch up sometime. I hope you're doing well. Better than our contestants, none of whom are getting any points for this one, because VIX stands for Voice, Visual, and Value in Excelsius. Of course. I mean, how could it not?
Were they not 6?
I think there were 6 members. They're down to 4 now. But most importantly, they're all meant to have great voices. They're all meant to have great visuals. They're all meant to bring value to the group. I don't know why in Excelsis,
except that you that left.
Like,
so.
you don't usually give, like, the I and in a point. Excelsis, you're kind of skipping a letter there. And you might be wondering, Chase, that only explains one X. And that was originally what was chosen by the fanful. But they decided that the second X made it look cooler. So, the second X is just there for style points. Real trick question for that one.
Yeah, that I might as well have put, like, they like the name.
Look, you can't argue with the rule of cool. You're absolutely right. And yeah, the 3V. I mean, it's just they can't choose. They're so their voices are so good. Their visuals are so good. Their value is so good. You can't limit it all. You can't choose and then spread it out. It's all one cohesive V. That's their story, and they're sticking to it. Oh man, thanks, Vix. that was one that Shay insisted when I put the show together that I put this one in there. I'm now wondering if maybe it was mean to put it in medium, but you know what? It's too late now. Because it's time for B1A4. B1A4. What does B1A4 mean? Another one that debuted in the early 2010s. Remember, these are the medium questions, so there's not inherently a trick, but trying to understand what the agencies and the boys and girls involved in the naming process were thinking. You gotta get in that mindset somehow. Whatever that takes, however you get there, that's the key to getting a medium question correct. It is a very cute pop, this one. What's going on? I don't have a lot of B1A4 in my repertoire, but...
Chase, I have no idea what's going on.
Like in general, or...
I mean, specifically for this thing I'm doing right now, but like...
Oh, man. Well, that is enough time, I think, for this. I don't know that there will ever be enough time given the answer that you just gave. Kristen, your answer here is Boy 1, Ace 4, help. You want to give me a little more insight into how you got there?
So, when there's a girl, if it's a boy group and there's a B, it probably is for boy. I was trying to come up with, like, what is related to singing that starts with a B? Boys? Flower? No. So there's a boy. I'm so sorry. Oh, and then they're aces. It's 4 aces. They're absolute aces.
So there's the 4 of them are aces and one of them's just a boy. That's gotta hurt for the just a boy there, I think. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's just a boy.
Well, who knows? Maybe they just fucking hated that guy. It's possible. It's possible. Walter, B1 and A4 are printer photo paper sizes. They just like photography. So I did work at Office Depot, so I am familiar with these sizes. But what is the photography just from our one guy with the camera in the picture here, or were you just immediately drawn thanks to those letter number combinations?
I mean, I saw the camera in his hand, and then the photos at the top, they kind of looked like they might be like Polaroid-y type things. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, they just all look kind of like artsy. So, bro, what does B1 and A4 mean otherwise? I don't fucking know.
You know, the amazing part is there were 2 answers, and I don't think anyone's going to get any of them. Eduardo... Boys 1 at 4, 4 plus 1 bias, plus they liked the name. I'm going to need you to walk me through this one a little bit.
From top to bottom, from most important to least important. First, I think they liked the name, that's why they picked it. Mm-hmm. And after the last question, I'm going to be leading all of this answer with that. Mm-hmm. Second, like, I distinctly remember that you mentioned me that, like, waifus and husbandos, like, in Asia, like, in pop culture, were called, like, biases. Mm-hmm. So maybe like they were like making like a play of words with like because B1 for whatever kind of looks like the spelling for bias. But also I also think like the B, I also think like the 1 and the 4 represents that they're all 5. I also, like Kristen, think they're like separated, but like maybe like the 1 is like the lead singer and the 4 are like the backups. But yeah, ultimately, I think they liked the name and that's why they picked it.
Okay. Well, I cannot determine whether or not they did or did not like the name, but I can tell you that B1A4 is Be the One, All for One, or the fact that they have one member with a B blood type and 4 members with an A blood type. Because, fun fact,
That's wild.
while all us scrubs here in the West talk about our Myers-Briggs tests in Korea, they're all about blood type as a way to define someone's personality, similar to astrological signs. So B blood people are passionate, wild, creative, and independent, but also potentially impatient or lazy. While type A blood people are more conservative and introverted, often finding difficulty in expressing emotions or trusting others. So you need.
Question: What are O types?
I mean, there's O, and then AB.
Yeah, no, but what does O mean in like Asian culture? That's my question.
You know, I didn't look that one up because there is no O in B1A4. But if anyone here would like to give a half point to their favorite competitor, you can go ahead and look that up and post it in the chat. Like I said, I can be bribed for sure. If you're willing to do my research job for me while I continue this quiz. But the other part came from an interview much later on, in which they claimed "Be the One, All for One" was a claim that let's just do our best as everyone expects us to. So, amazingly enough, Eduardo, through the journey your answer took, you did ultimately get somewhat close to "Be the One, All for One." And so I am going to give you a half point here. Congratulations.
I don't know if I should, I was close to a lot of things, but I don't think I was close to anything to deserve a point. So
Chase.
I will take the half point.
Chase, I believe I deserve a quarter point because one of those guys is creative.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I will give you a quarter point. And you know what, Eduardo? You're right. You don't deserve a full half point. I'll give you a quarter point. You think
I will take the quarter point. That feels fair to me.
It was your answer that ended up being somewhat correct only came much after the fact, so I feel like that's fair. I appreciate the integrity, the competitive integrity we're seeing here today, folks. Just incredible. But of course, it's time to move on. SF9. What does SF9 mean? So we got some fanfare going for SF9. You guys are all starting to see a trend, those of you playing at home. A lot of numbers being integrated to mean various different things. Is this just because there are 9 members? Maybe. Maybe it has another meaning. You can overthink it. You can think about it for a long time and turn yourself in knots. Sylphie, I only know FF15. Yeah, fair.
Sure, yeah. Street Fighter 9.
Street Fighter 9, absolutely. Yeah, look, they're just way ahead of the curve over in Korea. They weren't gonna wait for 6, 7, and 8 to come out. Which I hope Street Fighter 6 is good. I've heard very good things actually for someone like me who is a fighting game scrub. I've heard they actually do a pretty decent job with a campaign, getting people engaged. But this is not a Street Fighter quiz. This is a K-pop quiz. And unfortunately, your time is up. Which means it's time to head over to the Discord and see people's answers here. Eduardo, the 9 members, they are the Super 9, and they liked the name. Which I do love keeping that going.
So, I kind of missed the current explanation, but I think they turned like 9 guys into the picture, so the 9 maybe comes from there. I'm noticing like a trend there in these bands. I also think they liked the name, else they would have picked it. So I think it will be like the Super Fantastic 9 or something like that. I think like the SF is just to hype them up. Okay. Because I've also noticed like a trend of bands trying to hype themselves up.
I see.
I will make a quick errata here.
Okay, the Super Fantastic 9. We're locking that in. No more.
Locking that in, yeah.
No more changes to be had.
I'm not confident at all, but I'm looking at it.
Kristen, you said singing fantastically in time. Tell me more about that answer.
So, SF, I think we're talking about singing. They're singing. They how to do it. They do it fantastically. And then in time, I'm not going the regular route of saying it's got 9 members. No. I think because they like to play fast and loose with what letters count and which ones don't. They have removed the first I and the T and transformed the M into an N, and that's the 9. Because 9 sounds like in time.
In time. Interesting. I like where your head is at, Kristen. You might be thankful for that last bit there. Walter, you said 9 guys all from San Francisco. So
The San Francisco name.
That's my fucking story, and I'm sticking to it.
Now, I do think that would be quite the gimmick for a Korean pop group to have all 9 members from San Francisco. But
that's why the name is SF9. I don't know what you want from me. It's crazy.
You know what? You're right. I also do not know what I want from would want from you or the group here. But you know what? I think what we want now is to see what the actual answer is. And the answer is Sensational Feeling 9. So, it comes from the idea that the boys hope to shock the world with their talent. But most importantly, for Kristen's sake, the Korean word for 9 also sounds like the Chinese character meaning length, which points to the group's desire to last a long time. So, 9 wasn't the time thing, but the character 9 did quite literally relate to time. And therefore, I'm giving you 3/4 of a point, Kristen. I think you've earned.
I am shocked.
I think that's
God.
fully deserved.
Yeah, I think you got there incredibly. I will also I think super and sensational. You got the spirit of it, Eduardo. I'm gonna give you 1/4 of a point.
I will take my 1/4 of a point.
Unfortunately, Walter, they are not in San Francisco, and so
None of them are from San Francisco?
None of them are from San Francisco, unfortunately for San Franciscoans. I think Jay Park is somewhere near San Francisco, but that's a completely different guy. But yeah, it is. I like their name as well. I really like SF9. Fun group. Highly recommend you go check them out. But we don't have time for any more SF9 because we are on to, and I know this name looks one way, but you actually pronounce this BBG. This is BBG, which comes to the Hangul pronunciation. Now, does that mean that you should ignore the English spelling? Who can say? It might lead you to one of the answers, but it might not lead you to both. You're going to have to make a choice as to how to incorporate the English spelling versus the pronunciation I just gave.
What even is the English spelling?
V-I-V-I-Z. I would have sworn it was Viviz before I went to go look this up for the quiz and found out it was BBG. But they only know how to make bops. 3 surviving members from the group G-Friend who have gone on to have a really good year. Shout out to BBG, giving us some bangers from start to finish.
This isn't fair.
Whoever said I was fair, Walter?
I get it. This is to get back at me for all the tar jokes. I understand now.
Oh man, this is my villain arc. This is why I said at the start
This is your villain arc.
If you were to bully me, I can't say that I wouldn't deserve it.
Those baby blue eyes are a lie.
But it's pronounced G, right? Like VVG?
BBG, yeah. BBG.
BBG.
But it is time to get your answers. You said baby girls, Walter. Can you give me where's baby girls coming from? Just the pronunciation.
BBG, and I feel disgusting having written it.
Look, I feel weird reading it, so we're on the same page, unfortunately. We'll see though. Maybe you backdoor your way into a point. Who knows? I mean, I technically do, but we'll get there. Kristen, beautifully vivid and vivacious girls. You want to give me a little bit more thoughts on how you
kind of trying. I was trying to meld BBG and Viviz together in a way. So there's definitely beautiful with B. There's we got a G. It's girls. But also when I think about the English, I think it's vivid or vivacious, and I couldn't choose. So it's both. It's beautifully vivid and vivacious girl.
You went for it.
Look,
We will see whether that scattershot approach helps you here. Eduardo, you have Violent Victim Girls or Vel'Koz Viego Gwen.
Yeah, so you mentioned that there were two reasons for this name. And I think like the first one is just like an anagraptic one for something that sounded cool, so like Violent Victim Girls. They just wanted to sound shocking, so it will attract audience. I also think they main Vel'Koz, Viego, and Gwen respectively. So that played like a huge part. Plus, they like the name. Else they wouldn't have picked it.
Of course. You know, it is funny. If for any other game show, I would say the League of Legends motif would probably be a bad call. In this particular case, it's actually quite possible. There are quite a few Korean pop stars who play League of Legends on the regular. So I cannot tell you whether or not you are right about whether those are the three champions that these three women main in League of Legends. What I can tell you is that the name Vivid stands for Vivid Days, because it is a combo of the word vivid, meaning clear and intense, and days with a Z, because they hope to express their own color to the world for a long time to come. The Z in BBG, also stands for zero bass, because all three of them don't naturally sing with a lower female register. I feel like that kind of came a little bit after the fact. But the reason I said that you can get to a correct answer in a different direction from the pronunciation is because BBG is the final syllable of all three members of the group's birth names. So they are literally BBG if you mesh all of their names together. And the Hangul approaches what we see in English as Viviz.
It's nice to see DayZ represented here. It was a very good survival shooter.
Yeah, I didn't. Like, I went for the wrong video game. Now I see.
Yeah. You know, it's tough sometimes, but the good news for Kristen here is that you're going to get half a point because you got Vivid correct. You did have that as a core there. I may in the future have to be a little bit tougher if you hedge between two different potential words like that. But for now, especially with how the game is gone, I am feeling generous, and I'm happy to give the half a point your way. So this is going to take us to our last question of the medium round here. What does Stacy mean? Which honestly I include here mostly because this was my favorite song of last year, and if I'm going to make a playlist and quiz around K-pop, I'm going to include my favorite song from last year. That seems like a good thing to do. You know that one! Oh, fantastic! I am going to trust our lovely contestants not to check the Twitch chat if you wanted to submit your answer ahead of time.
I will close Twitch chat.
You close Twitch chat. We are closing the vault that is Twitch chat.
Yeah, I don't even have like the Twitch open, but hello everyone.
And I will just say, Sylphie right now, that's full credit. That is a full point.
Wait, let me open Twitch chat real quick. Hang on.
Hey, look, they're a great group. Like I said, this was my favorite song of last year, so no tea and no shade from me for you knowing that one.
I've completely changed my answer.
You completely changed your answer.
Look, you know I'm on my phone. I didn't look at Twitch chat, but I'm gonna play. I'm not going for the low-hanging fruit. I'm gonna try. Damn it.
Okay. Well, I did let that song play a little bit longer than I typically would because I like it, but that does mean it is time to check our answers. Eduardo, stay cool. Plus, they like the name. Tell me more about
Basically, I
this.
think no, I just think it was like that. They just make like a fun like word play. They stay obviously for the noun of staying somewhere, and cool because they were all like pretty cool girls. So yeah.
That is fair. They all are pretty cool. I would agree with that statement. Walter, you said stay cute, cool, and other C adjectives.
This
Mimicking
is
scattershot approach.
this is
He went
true.
up to me.
Well, because I don't think it's one adjective. Like I think it's like each one of the girls have like a different. It's kind of like the Spice Girls, where like one of them's cute Spice, one of them's like cool Spice, one of them's confident Spice. Like I don't know. I don't know these girls well enough to understand what C adjective they would use.
That's very fair. And I got to be honest, Walter, what you've just described with that answer is exactly the kind of convention that a K-pop group would use. We saw Vix use it earlier, so I think a very strong guess. Will it pay off? We shall see. But
Absolutely fucking not.
Kristen, you said stay clear like a high C note.
Yeah, so I originally put like stay cute because that's kind of the first thing that came to my mind, but I think that it is stay clear, and I think the clarity comes from how great they sing, that they can, I don't know if they can hit a high C, I don't know. But that's kind of the thinking behind it.
Well, I've heard enough Stacy songs to believe that they can, at least a few of their members can hit that high C. But unfortunately, the only person getting a point this round is Sylphie, because the answer is Stars to a Young Culture. That's right, the stay was a ruse, had nothing to do with anything. The group's name acronym Star to a Young Culture, which is meant to reflect the act's aim of dominating pop culture for the next generation. So, the stay was a complete curveball for you.
Did they manage to do it though? Because that's like a quite high goal for them.
It's a high goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think they're doing very well. I think if you look over in Korea at the moment, I think they've been pretty successful. They've got a lot of very talented groups, a couple of which we've already seen.
Are they more or less popular than New Jeans?
No one's more popular than New Jeans. New Jeans
That's my bar.
on another level. Sylphie, your sister started with K-pop and talked a lot about it. Very fair. Very fair.
Can I use Sylphie as my like phone like joker like when I don't know the like the name? Yeah, exactly.
Maybe for future versions of this, when I'm feeling a little bit fancier, we can add some like phone a friend or 50-50 or well, maybe not 50-50 because they're not going to be a group anymore. But some other nicknames and whatnot. Some bonuses to give away. But for now, we're checking the scoreboard. Eduardo remains in the league with 2.5 points. Kristen now has tied Walter with 1.75 as we head into the hard questions here. So it is still anyone's game. It is all up in the air.
hate that we're only now getting into like the hard questions.
Oh man, this isn't the last difficulty level either. I'll tell you that much right now. But yeah, here's where we start getting into, if any of you get this right, I will owe you a drink the next time I see you in person. These are difficult to get unless you are a diehard fan or you go galaxy brain on this. So let's start. What does ensign mean? Tell me about ensign.
What the fuck?
That is a lowercase n with a period and then a double capital S for ensign.
A double capital S.
Yes, I had to double and triple check all of the spelling and capitalization. There's a lot of capitalization in like the all caps names that typically I would ignore, but for the purposes of accuracy for this quiz, I stuck with it. I made sure that we were all on the same page.
Ah, yes, ensign, the infamous N-word.
No! Oh, man. We're gonna get canceled in our pre-debut. No!
Pre-debuts don't exist. They're a ruse.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Sometimes you release a song before you release a song, according to K-pop. My least favorite though is the re-debut. Is when you get to debut again. It's like you only do the first. Debut means first. You don't get to do the first again. That's not shouldn't be a thing. But that's where we're at with some K-pop verbiage sometimes. And unfortunately for y'all, that is a minute and a half, which means it is time to start checking out the answers on Discord here. Kristen, new secret stealth singers. Tell me how you got the new secret stealth singers.
Well, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound right. But when they do the double S or a double letter, they like when they do it when they have an S. My inclination is to go super, but they haven't been doing super, and I know that like they're like secret, stealthy. Their talent is so stealthy good that it'll sneak up on you. I couldn't figure out the rest of it, so I just put singers.
You know, I appreciate the energy, though I don't know if you know, a group would say like, "Oh yeah, look, I know it might not seem like we're strong singers, but stealthily we are. If we're sneakily good."
Like,
It'd be an interesting brand to own.
It would be an interesting brand. I don't think it's the brand.
Well, let's see what we get here from Eduardo. Ensemble Signal SS Infinity.
Okay, so first I think like the ensign, it's like it comes from being like an ensemble, like maybe they all come from like different backgrounds, or maybe like they participated in other groups before, and they like got together, and that like represents the unity. I think the sign is obviously because they meant to be like the signal for like they meant to be like the guys that you can is always identify, you know, like your North Star kind of signal. And like think like the double S maybe like represents infinity or something, like I don't know, like they chose it because it looks cool. Also they like the name.
SS Jin, I have no idea. Walter, where did you get to the SS Jin with two N's? I just noticed as well.
I originally just put I have no idea, but that's not fun. That makes me kind of lame. So I don't know. They like boats or something. So it's SS, and they like to drink gin. I have no idea. None of this makes sense. Not a single one of these makes sense to me. It is like you are teaching me a foreign language.
That is kind of the point. This is also why when you asked me what to prep, I just said bring alcohol, because it'll make it a lot easier to go with the flow that is K-pop names. Because even when you know what they're trying to do, you don't really know what they're trying to do. Because in this case, ensign stands for a net of star signs. Because they have a cosmic theme for their identity. It reflects the theme that each member is a star sign that fuses with the other members and fans to create a synergy of creativity and music. Their cosmic journey began through Channel A's audition program, Youth Star, in 2022. So they're not even old enough to drink yet. Sorry?
Can I claim a quarter point?
A quarter point because you went with infinity and exploring kind of
the signal thing.
The signal thing? I'm willing to give you a quarter point for that. Yeah, I think that is worth a whole quarter point.
I appreciate it.
This is a real efficient chase. It's won by quarter points.
Look, I understand that on the other side of this, I understand if there are some hard feelings. However, I think that every quarter point matters. It means that as of right now, you are all within a point of each other. All you have to do is get one of these correct, and you are right back in the driver's seat to win this whole thing. So,
I have a very relevant question. What do we win if we win this thing, actually?
my my appreciation. You know what? We can talk about a prize if you want to make me a member of one of your quizzes one day. If you want to take over the reins of the stream sometime, or if we can give an advantage the next time we do this, because this is the pre-debut episode. There will be more, assuming that those of you watching are enjoying this and would like to hear more. Quarter points. What is he, a beggar? I mean, kinda.
Assuming that people in chat like to see us suffer, then sure.
Yeah, I hope that the people in chat are having as much fun with this as I am. But
I can guarantee they're having more fun than me and Walter. I can guarantee they're having more fun than Walter.
Walter is at the I'm writing something down to not be an asshole phase, which I really thought we'd have to get into the double digits for. But here we go. We're entering double digits here. This is Zykers. What does Psychers mean, y'all? Psychers.
Is it not like a Scooby-Doo phrase?
It is not a Scooby-Doo phase, though I understand why you would say that. We've seen quite a few X's actually tonight. It's a letter that gets used a lot more in K-pop than it does in traditional pop. Sylvie, you know this one as well. Okay. I mean, at this point, Sylvie, if you could put in the answer in the chat here, you have a chance to overtake two of our contestants.
Chase.
Uh-huh. What's up, Kristen?
Oh my god. No, I'm not. She's doing a great job, you know, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm admiring her knowledge.
Oh man. I mean, look, like I said, if you need to bully me back, I understand. But we are hitting a minute and 15. And I will say this, Sylphie here would definitely get 3/4 of a point for his answer. He's almost there on the correct answer. And if he can do it, I believe in all of you as well. So let us go and check the answers of our lovely contestants. Walter, you said extreme bikers and in parentheses, like motorcycles.
They are all wearing, well, I guess not all of them, but a lot of them are wearing like dirt bike motorcycle jackets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
They are bringing a biker aesthetic to this particular photo shoot. That is certainly true. Eduardo, you went X Special Bikers. Are you?
Yeah, also pretty much the same line of thought as Walter. Maybe like TX stands for extraordinary. I think there's something with TX that sounds cool. And the rest is because they have like the rider team.
That's very fair. I do think X Special retired quite a few years ago, but I appreciate you bringing his name back right as we get ready for the World's Group Stage tonight. A nice throwback there. And Kristen, you went for Extreme Hypers. I mean, people are born to hype, are they not, Kristen?
You're trying. I appreciate that. I could have sworn we have talked about why they are called Psychers. For the life of me, I cannot remember it. I do think it is extreme. I just couldn't get there. Hypers, I think like they are hyped. They're hyped about their singing, and also about their fans. That's it.
There is a sound of defeat in your voice here. You know it's bad, folks, when I make an a reference to Knowledge Fight, and neither of my fellow competitors who listen to the Knowledge Fight podcast with me have a reaction in the slightest
That
way.
one went way over my head, I have to say.
I mean, look, people are born to hype. That's it's a common phrase that unites all people together, for sure. But in this case, this doesn't actually stand for hype at all. In fact, these are boys who travel through time and space in search of coordinates. Because the name is a combination of X, which is used to represent horizontal coordinates on a map, and hikers, aka travelers, that mean that the boys are trying to travel to find their space in this world. So,
Are you fucking kidding me?
I have several questions.
uh-huh.
But I kind of want to see the movie, though.
It's a good shot. You gotta say that photo shoot, fantastic. Good work.
Like, this kind of has like the girl who leapt through time kind of vibes.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Fantastic movie, by the way.
Yeah, fantastic film. Very interesting group. I'm in on Psychers. They went earlier this year. At this point, the rewards for these noobs should be a 1v1 against Sylphie. Oh man, look if Tentacle Coach was here. I think the one-on-one between the two of you would actually be very fun. But we'll get to that for the wrestling stream tomorrow. For now, I believe Walter, before we moved on, you said what the fuck. Do you have any thoughts before we proceed to the next question?
Yes, I do. I have plenty of thoughts. What the fuck?
Well, okay, cool. Just look. I am a benevolent quiz master. I want to make sure everyone's voices are heard.
Walter, you clearly need to travel through time and space more to find this space.
Yeah.
Easy.
It makes no sense.
No,
It makes no sense.
I think it makes some sense. Maybe this one will make a little bit more sense. Inhypen. What does Inhypen mean?
Oh my god.
Now, Kristen,
Yo, that's fucking bait.
you should get
fucking
it.
I'm sure this is not literal, right?
And Inhypen? I mean, who can say? The only way you find out is by writing it down and seeing how your answer matches up. Oh, yeah, no worries, man. Sylphie, thanks for stopping by.
So can we give him a participation trophy because he smoked me and Walter?
Yes, absolutely. I'll have to see. Maybe Sylphie and I could do a thing sometime. It'd be nice. For those of you who don't know, Sylphie was my top laner back when I coached that Istanbul League of Legends team. So, very, very nice to get that cameo there right before Worlds. Nice throwback. But this is definitely one, Kristen. If ever you were going to catch back up and assert yourself back in this game, this group is the one that you should be able to do it for.
Can we just absolutely fuck it?
But that is a minute 15 seconds. Do y'all need a little more time, or are we ready to go?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Then it is time to head to Discord for the answers. Kristen, they hype up their fans and themselves with their talent. Also, several of their songs have hyphens in them. You want to extrapolate?
Oh, we got it. So in hypen, it is the hypening. It's a cycle of they hype up their fans hype them back up, and they also hype themselves up with their amazing talent. And for a brief time, they released songs that had only hyphens in them. So we thought, is that what the name means? No, they released songs without hyphens after that. But it was like a good.
It was definitely
song.
Core to their initial identity. Well, like, you might be onto something here, Kristen. Let's see what your fellow competitor said. Eduardo, the guys that hype and a connection hypen.
Yeah, I also like. Okay, so yeah, English is not my first language, but I think hypen is like the name of like the horizontal like line. like this?
It is a hyphen, but I think in this case you're going to be very glad that you thought it was hype in this circumstance.
So I thought like maybe they use that so like to connect because they're like connected, like those like horizontal lines like connect each other, and also like they obviously they bring the hype, so that's why they're made like a pun of words between hype and like connecting, like connection hype.
Okay. And then Walter, Mojo Rawley, and Zack Ryder, we don't get hype, we stay hype. You think they're just big WWE fans?
Yeah, I appreciate the reference.
I don't listen. Just because I said it's bait doesn't mean I'm not gonna fall for it. Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, they were a tag team, and that was their tagline. We don't get hype, we stay hype. Because Mojo Rawley is just like the hype dude. He's the stereotypic like college frat boy jock that's just like, oh, let's fucking go, hell yeah. So yeah,
of course,
hype, stay hype. Something about hype.
I will always
swear to God, if
the
fucking hyphens, I'm gonna like blow a gasket.
Let's pour one out for Walter here, because you said you're gonna blow a gasket if it has anything to do with hyphens.
Oh my God, please no.
So it is connection, discovery, and growth represented by the hyphen symbol. Absolutely.
God damn it.
So it is similar to how a hyphen connects different words to create new meanings, and hyphen aims to come together to connect, discover, and grow together to form a new act. They were 7 lights that were shining alone, discovering each other and growing together. So, Eduardo, you're going to get a full point for that because you made the specific connection hyphen point. You used pretty much the exact words that are utilized here. So I'm giving you a full point for that. Kristen,
even though I got the hyphen wrong.
Well, no, because it was the hyphen. That's so. The funny thing is that's how they used it as well.
Right.
No,
yeah.
they're also using it that way. They're also wrong, but they're wrong in the same way you were wrong, which makes you right. That's the full point, my man. It's Kristen. I'm giving you 3/4 of a point because you did remember the hyphen thing. You didn't quite get to the connection part of that, but you did remember that, like in a general sense, you got there. You didn't fully connect to it quite as much as Eduardo did. So
I agree.
3/4 of a point to you. Walter, unfortunately, I cannot give you any points, though you do get a point in my heart for the we don't get hype, we stay hype. It's very...
Can I donate a 1/4 point to Walter just because of the Zack Ryder reference?
Sure.
I don't need your charity.
No, it's not charity. It's appreciation.
It's
different.
Yeah, of course. Done. I have given Walter a 1/4 point and taken away a 1/4 point from Eduardo.
Also, you come from a culture that normalizes that, like propines. So don't get me started on charity.
Oh my goodness. Well, we move on to our next hard question. NMIX. What does NMIX mean?
What is the fucking stupidest thing I can think of?
Walter's playing a different game from the rest of us at this point. Walter has moved on.
It's not a hyphen, goddammit!
Look, I for one appreciate a group that loves grammar as much as I do. I think that's pretty cool. There is room for disagreement, certainly. Well, I'll take this time while everyone's guessing. Thank you so much to everyone who's been in chat. We've had a consistent 8 people this entire time, which, given that I haven't done this in literal, over a year at this point, and we've never done this concept, I think is really cool. So whether you're typing in the chat or not, know that we see you, we appreciate you, and I think NMIX would appreciate you too. Now the question is, do our players appreciate NMIX? Do they understand what it is that makes NMIX NMIX? I hope so, because their time is about to run out. It is time.
I know I got this one.
To check the Discord. You know you got this one.
I know I got it.
Okay.
I nailed this one. Nailed it.
They like M&Ms in their trail mix. Tell me more about this one, Walter.
M&Ms mix, obviously trail mix. Come on.
Okay.
Trail mix. It's not like a sweet.
You know, the trail mix comment might get you closer to a point than you think. But we will move on for now. Let's see. Eduardo, you have Neo for new, multimedia, music and vids, intense, and then women, which are XX, plus the mix pun, plus they liked the name. Walk me through this one.
Yeah, okay, so they were like a new group that was forming. That's where like the N comes in. They're multimedia because they not only like focus on high quality music, they also focus on high quality videos, and you can see the movies coming out in theaters in former years. They're very intense women. The XX symbolizing like the chromosomes. Also, they wanted to put in like a mix because they're like mixing together in there. They like the name, so they chose.
Fantastic. Also, thanks for stopping by, Felix. Really appreciate you coming
Felix,
to hang
thank
with
you.
us. But yeah, I mean, look, I can see the logic that you've gone through here. We'll see how close you ended up getting, but Kristen, you went inspire mixed with stars.
Yeah, I did do that. So I do think that inspire is the N, and then mixed with the stars of the group. The X's resemble stars in the sky, but also they're the stars.
There you go.
That's deep.
We have had a strong cosmic theme throughout a couple of these. So
Yeah.
I
We're
think
going to cosmic, big picture.
but ultimately, we have to find out our answer here, which is they are the best combination for the new era. Now, new, next, and the unknown combined. So those are the multiple different N's. Unknown, of course, also with an N, because the last letter also counts apparently when determining abbreviations. And mix, which symbolizes combination of and diversity, altogether meaning the best combination for this new generation of K-pop. So, you know, I don't think, unfortunately, I can give points to Walter or to Kristen here. Walter, you did get mix in there, and I think you and I guess all three of you use the word mix, but I don't. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a quarter point for each of you. Does that feel fair to everyone?
Yeah.
I feel I got like the new part as well.
Okay.
I just wanted the number to go up.
You know, you're right, Eduardo. You did mention Neo for new, which gets to the ultimate like now, new, next. Like you got a portion of that, and I think that is enough certainly to give you half a point. We only have one more hard question left. So, what does lunate mean? What does lunate mean?
Is it L-U-N, the number 8?
That is a capital L-U-N, the letter 8. That is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did use fancy type for the names. I thought that would be or the questions. That felt like the most K-poppy font to me. I spent honestly. This is not going to be surprising to any of you who are playing in this game, but I spent a surprising amount of time picking the right font for this. I actually downloaded a font onto Google Slides that I thought would capture the K-pop atmosphere. But by all means, if you ever have questions about readability, I'm here to help. There's enough going on that I don't need to make it harder for you. I'm going to give you a little bit more time with this bridge here out of the chorus. before I.
Case, I don't know if it's possible to make this harder for me.
Oh, we're not in the hardest section of the quiz yet, buddy.
Fantastic.
Maintain hope that it could always get more difficult.
How much?
Not much, but more. Also, okay, so Kristen, luminous, unique, new 8 girls, but also forever the infinity symbol. So I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say you did not look at the image that was presented to you.
No, I did not, Chase.
Because you
I did not look at the image.
Because whether you looked at the image or remembered the song Wild Heart that I just played, and I believe we both shortlisted for our end of the year list, you would remember that Loon 8 are boys.
The boys.
They're boys. So if you want to move girls to boys, I think that's probably a good start. But tell me more about the rest of your angle here.
Just bury me at this point. So luminous. I think that they are luminous. They are unique. They're a new group, and there are 8 of them. But if you flip the 8 on its side, they're going to be luminous, unique, and new forever.
Okay. I like the line of thinking here. Luminous, unique, new 8, but forever. Okay. Walter? Lunar, the moon, and 8 planets, they are the solar system out of this world. Tell me more about that.
I don't know if anything else has to be said. I mean, that, space.
Okay.
I don't know.
Space?
I'm tired.
No, look, space. It's a solid effort. Eduardo, lunette, like the moon. Legends under the moon.
I don't know if Walter is cooking or he took galaxy brain too literal. I don't know. It's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I also want like the moon reference. I think that they're like legends. They're like the new 8 because they're like 8 people in the picture. So I think they're like coming new legends. I think that's kind of it. Plus they like the name, so.
Plus they liked the name. Well, I have some good news for 2 of the members of this quiz, which is that these are 8 boys who embrace the moon and light up the dark night.
Yes!
Walter, you're getting a full point.
Yes!
For Walter here, he needed it.
Yeah, and
Oh my god, yes!
Eduardo, I'm inclined to give you 3/4 of a point because you got the moon angle of it, for sure.
I will take 3/4. Yeah, no. I think I'm starting to think Korean at this point.
You galaxy brained it successfully, my friend. Congratulations. Kristen, unfortunately, I mean, can you tell me why I should give you any points for that one? Do you see an angle here?
I would say a 1/4 point for luminous because the moon is luminous.
They did mention the moon and the light of the dark sky, so I will give you a 1/4 point.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'll take it.
That's very.
Thank you.
Of course. Look, I am here to be a kind and benevolent quiz master, but of course, we do need to check and see as we head into the last sections of the quiz here. Here's our scoreboard. Eduardo, a commanding lead with 4.75 points. Walter is in second place with 3.25, and Kristen with 3 points. Still very much in it with 3 questions left to go. Or I should say 2 questions and a bonus question? Ooh. Had to know there was a bonus coming. Had to know there was a bonus coming. But that takes us to our final section. Lol, good luck. I wish you the best. I really do. This is where I feel like bullying. This is when I truly embrace my villain arc. And it starts with, tell me about NCT 127.
Oh God.
What does NCT 127 mean? NCT 127, of course, one of the most popular boy groups in the world right now. It's kind of them and Stray Kids 1 and 2, I would say.
That goes out the window.
Cooking with the cheese, that's the queso, is my favorite line of this particular song. I went with the English version of this particular song because allows our players here to maybe get a little bit more of their attitude. Does that attitude help? Who can say? This is the LOL good luck section. You're going to have to be really creative in order to find your way to the correct answer here. But it is very possible. And I will say, Kristen, as someone trying to catch up, you might have a familiarity with this from having absorbed as much K-pop as you have. This is not out of the question.
I know I got part of it.
Okay.
Just...
Well, that is going to take us to 1:20, which means it is time to check our answers from our lovely contestants here. Walter, nitrogen, carbon, tin, vanesium. Is vanesium the 127th element?
Yeah, it's periodic table of elements. They like science.
I really like the idea of a boy group being based fully on the periodic
I
table.
enjoyed that idea as well. Yeah, that's canon for me now.
I like the thinking here. I don't know that it's going to net you any points.
It's
but
definitely not, but...
Hey, you said that about your last answer, so who can say? Eduardo,
yes.
your answer is struggling to come up for me for some reason. Oh, here we go. Never can tame. 127 is the address where they formed and they liked the name. Tell me a little bit more about how you got there.
Basically, I have no idea where the 127 could come from, so I think that's the address where they like got together and practiced, or maybe where they met. I think that's symbolic for them, like a special number for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the TNSCT just means that they can never be tamed, because they look like very wild from the picture that you showed us. So yeah, I think that's their whole vibey thingy.
I think all of their fans would agree that they cannot be tamed. Whether or not they built that into the name itself, we'll have to wait until we see Kristen's answer here. There are 127 members. New Croning team.
Yeah, I panicked with the NCT bit, but there are indeed 127 members.
Oh, Kristen.
I fucked up. No! But they have the offshoots. They have the offshoots. They have so many members.
They do have
NCT Dream.
a lot of members, but NCT 127 specifically definitely does not have 127 members. But
are we sure, though?
I'm relatively sure, because the NCT 127 means Neoculture Technology in Seoul, which, Eduardo, you are going to get a half point for this, because 127 is the longitude coordinate for the city of Seoul, which is where they're from. This is the Korean branch of NCT, which is a larger group. This speaks, and I'll give you a quarter point here, Kristen, because you understand I understand what you were going for with the idea that this is a group with a lot of members and that has different branches. NCT is the larger label that wanted to debut with an unlimited number of members in alignment with their culture content strategy, focused on openness and expandability, in which there are no limits. They were going to make boy bands with different members from various countries under the name NCT, singing the same song in different languages. So this is the Korean subunit within NCT. And so...
Wait, did they manage to do it? Do we have, like, different entities?
Oh, sorry, Kristen, what are you going to say?
There's NCT Dream. I feel like I need to prove myself here.
Yes, NCT Dream is very much a thing. Funnily enough, the one that is actually in another country is WayV. That is the Chinese branch of NCT. They completely went with an entirely different naming scheme. Maybe we'll talk about it on another episode of this quiz, which I'm sure you're all very excited to come back to at some point.
Chase.
Yes?
can you tell me what NCT stands for again? I just feel like
Neoculture technology.
Neoculture technology, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely
Okay.
neoculture technology. I forget, because you're taking the hit for the team and playing on your phone. You cannot always see the PowerPoint in front of everyone at home and the rest of our players here. But yes, they are the new culture. I don't know why technology is focused here. That feels like something that came from a board meeting, to be sure. But we are here to our last regular question.
Board like a table? Like a table? Like a periodic table?
No. But I appreciate the effort. Here, Walter, you got one more. We got one more group name to guess here. This is Kepler. What does Kepler mean? This is one of those where you're either going to be looking at this and you're going to have no idea, or you're going to be looking at this and you're going to say, wait, it can't be that. Could it be that? Who can say? I mean, I could. I have the answers in front of me, but it wouldn't be much fun for the quiz if I gave that away so quickly.
I think that would make this quiz a lot more fun.
It'd make the quiz very different. Maybe I'll go multiple choice next time. I'm open to feedback, especially from those of you watching. If there's a format that you think would be more fun, some changes you'd like to see us make. I am, this is the first time we're doing this. It is an idea that weaseled its way into my mind, and I mean, I've had a great time, but I want everyone else to have a great time too. So, please do hit me up on Twitter or Discord or wherever else you know where to find me. If you have any feedback you'd like to apply for the next time we do this. But I think that's enough time for our players to get in their answers. For the last group name of the night, we cut to Kristen. Johannes Kepler. The girls are planetary bodies that rotate around the sun of K-pop. Tell me more about this.
So Johannes Kepler was a German astrologer and mathematician, and Kepler, I just think that it is, I think they've abstracted it, I think they've gone astronomy-based, they love to go with space and planetary heavenly bodies. I think that they've abstracted it out, and the girls, the group, rotate. They are planetary bodies that rotate around the sun of K-pop. Now, the sun might be something else, but they are rotating.
Okay. I like the thinking here. Walter, you said Johannes Kepler.
Fucking way. No.
Is there anything you'd like to add here, Walter?
No, I just, for some reason, Johannes Kepler came into my head and I totally forgot what he was about. So I thought it might have been classical music, but nope, I defer to Kristen.
Okay.
But the name came to my head. That was the first thing I thought of.
You did have the name in your head. We'll see if that paid off for you. Eduardo, the astronomist because they're stars. Maybe there's a comet named after Kepler. Number one, Lowell plus didn't like the name. You don't think they like the name?
No, I think this is the one group that showed us that they actually didn't like the name, but it was forced upon them by corporate meeting. They're actually like, as other people said, like they actually are all stars, so they named themselves after like the astronomist Kepler. And the number one is because obviously they're the number one group. They're going to be like, just like them racing the trophy,
Man, I put this in the hard section, or the lull good luck section, because I thought the idea that one person, let alone three people, would all go for Johannes Kepler was going to be low. But I have good news for you. The official name is Catching Dreams as 9 Girls Become One, but the explanation is their name combines Kep, which means catching dreams, and the number 1, which is 9 girls coming together as one to be the best. It is a reference to the planet Kepler, the Kepler Space Telescope, and was inspired by German astronomer Johannes Kepler. It was suggested by viewers of the show Girls Planet 999 as a reference to planets in the Kepler solar system, because that was the show in which this group was made. So, I'm going to give a full point to Kristen, because you got Kepler and the idea of these celestial bodies coming together. Walter, I'm going to give you half a point, because you remembered the name. And I'm inclined, Eduardo, to give you 3/4 of a point, because I feel like you were kind of in between them in terms of information here.
Yeah, I didn't get provide as much info as Kristen, but I did provide the 1 context, so 3/4 seem fair.
Look at us.
Look at you. We are on.
Yeah, you clearly underestimated our German astronomer knowledge.
I mean, look, I am glad to have underestimated y'all. But of course,
This should have been like one of the easiest questions.
Yeah, apparently this should have been in the easy section, and I should have moved. I should have moved some of these other ones down. But you know what? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
You forgot you were dealing with a bunch of freaking words, Chase.
Maybe I think maybe these ones are easier because they're like so brain fried into their concept and origin that we just are on the same wavelength.
You're on the same. I mean, honestly, it does feel like a couple of you have gotten better as you've given up more, which is a lesson. I don't know if that's something I want to instill in everybody, but look, it's paid off here, and it's now we're going into the bonus, which is which of the following groups are fake. Kristen, you may want to find your way over to the screen sharing here. I have 12 names on the board here. Focus, spelled F-Cuz, ZPZG, Cracker, K-Much, LED Apple, U-Kiss, Hand, Cheese, Cereal, She Is, My Name, and Beast. Which of these groups are fake?
Is it only one?
Any number of them can be fake, and you will get 1 point for each fake one that you recognize. I can. Which of these are fake? Which are real? It's which are fake and which are true. That's what Twice wants to know right now. And I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of extra time on this, because you have to just parse through. Which of these...
Do we have to like guess the like fake or guess the real? Like what are we trying to do?
Tell me which ones are fake. Which of the ones on this board do not exist? That is the question being posed to you.
First one is, because I'm trying to look on my phone.
It is,
FK?
It is, Focus is how you spell that, but yeah, is how you pronounce it, but F-Cuz is how you spell it, yes. It is Focus, ZPZG, Cracker, K-Much, LED Apple, U-Kiss, Hand, Cheese, Cereal, She Is, My Name, and Beast. You can see Solar is just as puzzled by all of this as y'all are right now, so you're in good company.
You're a devious bastard. Actual Solar is here?
So she is in the background of the slide here.
No, she's in the chat. Say hi to the chat.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Solar from Mamamoo. God, I would die. I would quite literally die.
I think she will be as puzzled as us.
I'm worried that this is a trick question and they're all real.
I think this is a true question and they're all fake.
There are 2 wolves inside you.
I'm pretty sure I know at least one of these are real. I think I recognize one of these somehow.
Well, you've got 20 seconds before Twice has finished sorting out what is fake and what is true. And that's when I'll have to call it for you as well.
Thank you. I just have to leave it. I can't.
Well, it is time to see what is fake, what is true. Let's see if our contestants were able to launch it out here. Eduardo, she is Cracker, K Much, LED Apple, Cheese, and My Name were the ones that you listed as fake. Why were those fake to you? What stood out as fake about them to you?
Actually, I'm gonna move Hand over there because Hand is like a Bon Jovi album. That's not like a K-pop thing. They just seem like a bit more generic. I don't know, like it's like who will like go to a concert by LED Apple? Actually, it sounds like kind of cool, but like no, cheese goes in my fridge. Crackers go in my lodge. You know, like those are like food. I think cheese just like a little too simplistic for like maybe for like a K-pop diva, but not for like a band. My name like as well. But yeah, no, they just didn't stand out to me. They seem like a bit generic and like I don't know,
Okay.
not good for marketing. And Candice just because that's like a Bon Jovi album. That's not K-pop.
Okay. I appreciate the line of thinking here. Kristen, I will let you know that you're not screen sharing at the moment, so I'm going to go to Walter next.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Walter, what is you've listed everyone. Are you saying all of these are fake?
I did not list all of them.
Okay.
Beast is the only one I didn't list. But also, per you, the rules are list ones that I think are fake, and I get a point for each one that's correct. So by listing all the ones that I have no clue, I get all the points.
Interesting. It's an interesting.
But I know Beast is a real one. Beast is absolutely a real one.
Beast is. I will say that Beast is real. That is true. So, Kristen, you think 3 of them are fake? K Much, LED Apple, and She Is. Why did those stand out as fake to you?
So I don't think an actual K-pop group would have it be K in the like a K dash something or K something. I think it's just a little too on the nose, which is wild considering what we have seen tonight.
That's where the line is. Okay, got it.
That's the line, apparently. LED Apple is nonsensical in a way that I just like. It's a little too random. It's like, okay, we've got LEDs, we got apples, we're gonna put them together. I don't see it. She is what? What is she? Who is she? We don't know.
Everything. She is beauty and she is great.
She is everything, but also nothing because she is fake.
Oh, there you go. That is all of our final guesses for our competitors. I did say you would get a point for each fake group you correctly identified, which is why it's a shame that they're all real. Everything is shit.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
The only way to get a point was to identify that none of them were fake. Fuck
you.
Very much capturing Walter's feelings right now.
Fuck you.
I never want to play this game again.
Man, look, I don't know. I mean, now that you know, I don't know how you look back at this list and think that any of these could not be K-pop names, given the game that we have just played through together.
Jeez.
Yeah, She Is. Yeah, with the Z. Why not? Why not? Look, I'm not saying they're good. In fact, most of these I took from a list of the worst K-pop group names of all time, but that doesn't mean they didn't exist.
Yeah, because some of them, now I'm looking, they don't even appear in my searches.
Yeah, but they're all.
How did
real.
I know Beast is real? That's what I want to know.
That's a great question, man. I'm glad that you did. Because they are a genuinely talented group. I can't speak to a lot of the other ones, but I can't speak to that one. They're
honestly, I kind of cheated a bit because like Chase, like you knew how to pronounce some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Like he pronounced them different than the spelling, and I was like, okay, that's real because Chase knows the pronunciation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did have pronunciation guides for every single name that I went on for this. I did the research. I wasn't going to get called out like I have on K-pop shenanigans before. But it's time to call out our winner tonight. In third place, Walter C80's Fetchuk with 3.75 points, a respectable 3.75 points. Kristen, you came in second with 4.25 points. And our winner with 6 points, Eduardo, congratulations, buddy. You did it.
Let's be honest here, there were no winners tonight. Only the people watching us suffer.
No, the winner was Jigsaw himself.
It's honestly, this feels very much like a Jigsaw sort of game. You found in front of you a list of K-pop group names.
I will say when I got the one correct with what it was, Lunate or whatever, and I was just like, it felt like Jigsaw had decided to show mercy on me and just let me out of the trap without actually making me go through it.
But see, here's the thing. Now y'all have experience. The next time we do this, you're prepared. You're ready.
Can we bring it like a fresh
All of you
lemon
just will
water?
be next time.
Oh, there will absolutely be a next time.
We have to do this again.
Oh,
All right.
Well, I will talk to you, Eduardo, behind the scenes to see what your prize will be. But for now, I'd like to thank everybody who came to watch this stream. I hope you had a great time.
Obviously, like, I want a ticket to go watch Led Apple, of course.
Yeah, LED Apple for sure. You can find them online. I don't think they lasted for very long. I think a lot of those groups did not last for very long. But I do want to have a chance for everyone here to plug their stuff real quick. Kristen, where can the nice people at home find you if they want to follow you after this lovely competition here?
I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram at K Pignolo. My name is hard to spell, so it'll be somewhere.
Yes.
I don't talk about K-pop that much, but talk about other stuff. I might talk about this now. I might just devote myself entirely to figuring out this now.
You're going to be getting study notes together for the next time?
Yeah, absolutely, like a spelling bee.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what have I done?
You can find me there as I begin my quest.
Absolutely. Walter, where can the nice people at home find you, man?
You guys can find me at C80s_LOL on Twitter. You can also find me at C80s.bsky.social on Blue Sky Social. You can follow the podcast that Chase and I do, the Rough Drafts Podcast Network, on your favorite podcast platform of choice. We have 3 different feeds. One is the Rough Drafts feed, which is everything, and then we have each individual show on their own feed. Final Cut, our movie review podcast, where we just reviewed RRR and the week episode before Jawan, 2 Bollywood films that Chase and I had never seen Bollywood before, so we watched 2 of them in a row and had a pretty good time. And then Steam Cleaners, which is our video game podcast, where Chase and I have thousands of games sitting in our Steam libraries or Nintendo Switch libraries, and we play a different one every 2 weeks, and then we talk about whether we liked it or we didn't like it. It's a lot of fun. So go listen to those if you guys get a chance.
Absolutely. Though it is funny that Steam Cleaners has now become me ignoring those 1,000 games and getting a couple new things that come out that happen to fit the genres that I always talk about every week. Eduardo, our champion, where can people find you if they'd like to follow you after this class?
Well, first and most importantly, they can find me right here tomorrow for Wrestling League.
What? Match. This wrestling suddenly this draft for a wrestling league document just appeared out of nowhere on the screen. What could this be?
Yeah, in which I have earned the right now to have the first draft, so I'm hyped for that. Also, you guys can find me, like, just send me a message on Instagram, east2gradb. I never talk about K-pop, but I'm always willing to shitpost, so yeah.
And really, what's more important at the end of the day? You can find me at Chase Wassenaar on Twitter or B-Sky. Probably more B-Sky than Twitter if everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks continues to be the tenor of what that site has to provide. But most importantly, I'd like to promote Shay. Shaybaum on Twitter and Instagram is responsible for this lovely rig that you've seen the entire time. If you are interested in getting a commission, I would reach out to him. He's very talented at this whole art thing. He made all of this very easy for me. I am not technically gifted with this kind of project, and yet here we are. And I got my little, look at my little doggy. I got my little doggy on my shoulder, and it sparks joy, and I can change my robe color. It's very cool. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, or if you just want other art, I've commissioned a bunch of art from Shay over time. So highly recommend you go check out his work. Highly recommend you check out the podcast, and highly recommend you come back at 7 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, where Eduardo, Walter, and Tentacle Coach Xander Raff will be here to get into a journey of Wrestling League. But until then, goodbye, Internet.